Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, the markets are bouncing back. Well, it depends which coin you might hold, right? Some people don't, they're bleeding, some are not. But generally speaking, some of the markets are bouncing back. But it's mainly for the bigger boy coins and the coins surrounding, the Trump coin. That was a big curveball out of nowhere, right? No one expected it. Fun fact, if you would have bought Trump coin within the first hour at the minimum, you would have been up 65 times your money. And the reason why I say this is because, no one really believed that Trump himself posted and, released a meme coin, right? That's why it was getting some money involved, right? There was definitely some volatility. But then when it was more and more confirmation, that's when it really started to pump. Listen, right? We see Radium, we see something like Solana taking over. We see Ondo, people were worried about the token unlocks, but if you just read token unlocks aren't always bad. You have to read what they're going to use the tokens for. And pretty much to put it into, a short, easy way, they said pretty much 85% of the tokens are going to be used and stored and pretty much to upgrade the project, improve the project, and all that kind of stuff. So really is only 15% inflation, while the rest is to improve the project and to keep it stored. Listen, Chainlink's up, XRP's up. You can see a lot of the big boys, Doge. We are going to dive right into the markets. We're going to cover many coins. We're going to start with XRP. We can see XRP has broken out of this huge range. Normally, right, if I saw this during altcoin season, this type of structure, this would have been a sell structure, right? Getting a triple tap reversal. But like I said, with the context, it was a sign that we were actually going to be breaking to the upside. And that is exactly what we did. We can see once we broke up, we retested, and then now we are flying up. We're consolidating just a little bit, but that is normal. XRP is a very big coin. So I expect there to be more and more sideways movement every time there's some kind of expansion, right? It takes billions and billions of dollars to be moving this. Now, if we dive to something like Kaspa, we can see Kaspa did have a good run for some time, right? Pretty much from Monday to Friday, it was doing really well. And then it started to take a dip. Now, part of the reason why I think it took a dip was, well, for one, Bitcoin dominance, which we will cover. And number two, the Trump coin, right? A lot of people were taking their money out of other cryptos to pump in the Trump coin. I know I did. I put my own personal money, but I also had the ability to swap coins instantly and, make good money. So we can see Kaspa, right? There is a pullback. Technically, we are creating a higher high over this, right? We are creating a higher high over the 13-cent mark. But I am just a little worried, right? Because right now we are playing a game of ping pong. We have a floor. We went up, created a higher high. We bounced off this area, and now we are supposed to be more or less selling off, which you are. And what's supposed to happen is more or less around 12 cents. We're supposed to consolidate and bounce back up. But, ladies and gentlemen, right, I still always fear because, there is liquidity here. I always fear this 10-cent mark. So, in general, I do expect a pullback roughly to 11 and a half to 12 cents. Good buying opportunity. However, always be wary of the 10-cent mark liquidity sweep. I personally would have a buy order somewhere around 8.5 cents, just in case, we do get some next level dump. Myro, Myro has not been looking good at all ever since it broke structure pretty much, early December, dropping from 14 cents all the way down to roughly 6 cents. Yeah, guys, this coin, I mean, like I said, it still has upside, but the reality is the people on Twitter are not active. So, people just stay away. People stay away. And even though structure looks or was looking good, and there were signs of, bullish confirmation, when things broke out ever since then, there just seems to be no life. I think a lot of people gave up on the coin Myro. I still think, is it worth, buying? I mean, there's so many Bitcoins at the moment. I still think there's going to have some upside, when the bandwagon will come in, Myro will pump heavy. But at the same time, you got to remember this is a meme coin and the bandwagon doesn't necessarily have to come in. Now, if we go to something like Turbo, we did talk about prices pulling back to around this area over here of 0.075. It did go a little bit lower. It swept this liquidity over here of 0.00706, right? We did sweep some kind of liquidity. I personally bought even more again, just, around this time, around 0.072, 0.073, I bought even more because, like I said, I still have faith. I believe the Trump coin will be getting liquidated soon, right? I believe personally when he gets into inauguration that, people are going to sell the news. Personally, that's what I personally think. Okay, that is what I personally think. Pangolin, ladies and gentlemen, right? Pangolin swept, went lower, but it is recovering at the moment. All of these little dips, I don't worry personally. This is all micro moves, but we can't see we did finally enter the daily order block candle of pretty much 27.5 cents, which I did have marked up in the private community, right? This is the last relevant daily order block candle. So for me, I do expect reversals soon, unless obviously Bitcoin decides to crash and die, which is funny because we are going to cover Bitcoin next. What is next for Bitcoin? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can see overall the weekly is absolutely bullish, right? No matter what, as long as we close above $104,000, right? This is going to be an extreme sign that we might not even get that big of a pullback. Can we get a little bit of a pullback? Possibly, but there's a high chance that we will start consolidating on these levels of $102,000, right? Because there is technically support over here. And if that's going to be the case, that means Bitcoin is going to be, extremely, extremely bullish. And there will be signs of pretty much, you know, signs of expansion very, very soon, going above $108,000, $108,400. So things are looking excited. I did think there was going to be a bigger pullback, when we were over here to maybe 92,000, when we're over here, maybe back down to here. Remember, that's only speculation. I always have to see stuff in the moment. If there are no signs of reversals, I am not going to call a reversal. At the moment, there is literally no sign yet. We are starting to consolidate and be a little bit, a little bit wicky. That's what I call it. A little bit messy, right? Price action is a little bit messy. But overall, there has been no break of structure. But we will see how things work out. So we're gonna cover two more coins. Some coins that I know people love and talk about on this channel. Obviously, Render quickly. Render and AKT are pretty much in a similar boat, right? They're in a similar boat. They pretty much retested somewhere near certain lows recently. Big, big support levels. And I expect, once Render breaks above $8, it will create a higher high. And the next big level I want to see is break the $9, right? Once we break these levels, we should be flying high. We should be flying high very, very quickly. And I would say after that, the next step is going back into this area over here of roughly 9.5 to $10, right? Once we retake that support, for me, the next move after that is going to be to contest these all-time highs of roughly $14. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to cover Radium because I know some people are Radium holders and users. And listen, right, we talked about how it broke structure. We talked about how, you know, overall, Radium is very, very, very bullish. One of the reasons is due to its technical analysis. We can see there's so much imbalance here. Imbalance is when there's a lack of proper structure. So when there's a lack of proper structure, then that means, we should be mirroring the price action and pumping very, very hard, which is exactly what Radium is doing. Plus, of course, the Trump thing happened. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.